Hi everyone, welcome back to another Monday market update. I'm Caitlin McKegg. I am a Phoenix real estate broker, and every Monday I give an update on what's going on in the Phoenix real estate market. If you're new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button. And if you follow me every Monday, thank you so much. I appreciate your support. I have a lot of stuff to go over with you this Monday, and I'm excited to jump in. So I've got my notes with me on my phone. I'm going to be referencing those as we go along and giving you guys a scoop on what's going on. So if you've been following every Monday, the CMI, which I'll explain in a bit, has been kind of going up pretty quickly and then hanging out a little bit, and now it's starting to slowly go down. So are we seeing a cooling off starting in the market? Your guess is as good as mine, but there's a few things that the Cromford report has reported on that I want to actually read verbatim to you guys because I think it makes the most sense that way. So let's hear what they said. So this week, the weekly chart that shows the days of inventory, which is the number of homes that we have active for sale on the market, and that excludes anything that's under contract or pending, across all areas and types in Phoenix, has just moved higher than it was 12 months ago. And this is the first time we've ever seen that number be higher than the year prior since 2019. That's why that number's up there. So that's the first time this has been higher in terms of the number of listings that we have active for sale that do not have a contract on them. So that is, as they say, this is a small indicator that the market has reached a peak and may possibly start a cooling phase. This came after a relatively strong week for new listings at last. So let's see if that's true. I personally do not think we're starting a cooling phase just from what I've experienced out in the field. I do think that we have a long way to go until things start to cool off, just considering the amount of listings that we don't have on the market, and I just don't see us getting enough that's going to start to cool things down. But that said, that doesn't include what's going on the demand side with interest rates and buyers, because interest rates have been going up, and that is probably taking some buyers out of the mix. So another thing that Cromford has reported on, according to Freddie Mac, the average interest rate on a 25-year fixed rate loan has changed in the last month. So December of 2021, it was 2.96% that you could get. And as of January of 2022, 3.45%. So that's almost a whole point increase in a month's time frame. And that hurts really bad if you're a buyer. That combined with price increases right now, it really makes what you could have afforded previously kind of out of reach if you were at the top of your budget before and looking for homes in those higher price ranges. So interest rates matter, and that's clearly affecting some of the demand. So perhaps some demand going down is going to cool things off, some increase in listings maybe, I don't know, but we are still at a very high CMI, and I'll get there in a second. So another thing that they were talking about this week in the Cromford update is about the number of multifamily building that we're doing in the Phoenix area. And a lot of these new building permits that we're getting is for multifamily, which is great, but that's not helping the situation with single family homes, because there's always going to be a demand for people that want a single family home rather than an apartment. So right now the big focus on building has been multifamily, and those can go up pretty quickly, and that's definitely going to help us in housing more people that want homes and want to purchase. However, we're still going to continue to have demand on the single family detached side because we're not building those fast enough, and if we only focus on multifamily, it's not really taking care of the people that want a single family home. So what they talked about to that point is that we'll likely see a large number of newly constructed rental apartments coming available because of the large amount of money being invested in the multifamily sector. Our expectation is that the supply of multifamily units will eventually balance the demand much earlier than it will for single family units. This means that our market for single family homes, our primary focus, is likely to stay healthy for longer than the overall market. So I thought that was an interesting point. It seems to be correct from what I see out in the market, and just something for you to think about as a buyer or seller if you are looking for a single family home or have one to sell. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is the number of new listings or active listings on the market and how severely things have dropped. So I'm going to come over here and actually, just kidding, I'm going to come over here. So Phoenix had 600 listings, or it has 600 listings currently that are active on the market for sale, not under contract yet. And in November, they had 1,200 listings. So that's a pretty big difference from November until now, cut in half. And the average price of homes actively on the market in Phoenix right now is $900,000. Now, same thing goes for Scottsdale. We're currently at 300 listings on the market in Scottsdale that are active without a contract. February last year, so let's go back a year, we only had 400 on the market for sale at that point. And currently the average of those active homes is $3 million. So if you're looking in Scottsdale, better have some money, because that's the average, that kind of blew my mind. So I definitely wanted to share that. Now let's talk about the CMI. If you're new here, this is what the Cromford report has created to help us understand supply and demand. It's an index that basically, if it's somewhere around 100, it means that we're in a balanced market. But if it's above 110, we're in a seller's market and prices will continue to increase. And this week we are at 472.8. A couple weeks ago, we were at 474, so it's come down a little bit, but it's not coming down like it was last summer, I think it was, where we just started to fall and we weren't sure where that was going to end. We're actually just kind of hanging out and some slight movement in the CMI. But our supply remains low, 24.9, so that means that we're about 75% below normal on supply. Still an issue. Demand has been dropping. It was in the 120s, now it's 117. That means that we're about 17.7% above normal. We were previously 20%, 25% above normal, so demand has definitely come down. And my thought is interest rates for sure, as well as it's just a tough climate out there for buyers right now. And so if you don't really have to buy and you're not really interested in getting into that mix, I think a lot of buyers have decided to sit on the sidelines. So that's where we're standing right now with supply and demand, and the overall CMI just kind of hanging out in that 470 range. We'll see what happens next week if it continues to go down. That was very interesting information about talking about the number of homes actively on the market without a contract finally being higher than what we've had weeks or years ago. So we'll see if they're right in predicting that this is a starting of a cooling phase. I don't know if I agree, but Cromford report has always led me in the right direction, so maybe I will be wrong. If you have any questions about this information, feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is in the description below. There's also a link where you can set up a time to chat with me. And if you want to know what your instant home valuation is, take advantage of that link, click that and find out what your instant home value is. And if you are thinking about buying, go ahead and use my MLS to look for homes in the area. There's a link for that below as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Comment below, let me know what you think. Is there a cooling trend going on? I'll be back later this week with another video about Phoenix real estate. I'm Caitlin McKegg with the Desert Dreamers team at HomeSmart.